Let's begin with a prayer. Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, friend, beloved God, great masters of self-realization, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Sri Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, beloved Guru Paramhansa Yogananda ji, saints and sages of all religions, beloved friend and guide, Swami Kriyananda ji, we humbly bow at thy feet. Divine Masters, we invite your inspiration, your blessings in this healing session. Flow through us in every breath. Bless all thy children with thy infinite light and love. Teach us to accept thy divine reality which is within us, and to see all things as a manifestation of that divine reality. To see ourselves as your children. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So as Bindu mentioned, our topic for today is acceptance. The theme is acceptance as a way of inner healing. What is. And to start with that line, I want to kind of elaborate on two types of interpretation we can have to that line. One is what is, to accept things as they are. And Swamiji writes how it is one of the most difficult lessons in life to accept things as they are. So that is one way of looking at what is. The other way of looking at it also is what is God, So what is with the capital IS. So starting on that note, I want to go forward with this theme of acceptance. And think all of us at some point of time, on an everyday basis, deal with issues in acceptance. If we didn't have issues with acceptance, we would not have the reactive process challenging us as much as it does. The fact that we have reactions to a certain circumstance or to people shows that there is a resistance in accepting what is in front of us. And the teachings of yoga make it very clear to us that yes, this manifested reality looks separate in all of its different appearances. And we very quickly, after we come into this body, get fooled, get deluded by these multifarious appearances. And we think that this is real, this tree is real, this bush is real, this person is real, this bird is real in and of themselves. And we forget that behind matter, there is the infinite source that is the cause of all that is. It is because we forget this divine reality that underlies, that is the substratum of all that is manifested. It is because we become ignorant of that divine reality that our dis-ease, our lack of ease, or our lack of happiness we experience. So to accept that divine reality, which is truly who we are, is that first step towards easing into a state of being. When our likes and dislikes are pulling us here and there in different directions, we are not in ease. We are not in acceptance of our divine state. Why do I say that? Because if we are in acceptance of our divine reality, all that we are looking for outside of us through this desire or through this dislike or like, if I don't have this person near me, I will have peace for the rest of my life. Or if I just get this beautiful thing, it would be such a beautiful addition to my house, and that would just make this room so much more special. And if it doesn't come your way, then you are disappointed, you are unhappy, and your mind is constantly churning on when can I get that, how can I make that possible. And so we rest in a state of unrest, and we begin to identify with that false state of rest as this is the way life is. But again and again the masters come to give us true healing, which is where they are asking us to step back outside of our likes and dislikes, and they're telling us to know that there is that joy that you're looking for, that fulfillment that you're looking for is already an inner reality that has been bestowed in every atom of creation. in every cell of our body, there is that divine reality of infinite joy, infinite peace, infinite love, all that we're looking for outside of us. That's the game that this divine reality that is within us is trying to play with this manifested reality, not from outside. That's where we go wrong, because we approach it from the outside. But the divine way to play is to play from the inside out, that through our knowing of this joy that is within us, now enjoy this manifested reality of God. Yogananda ji would say that the purpose of life is to be educated and entertained. And but how few are educated, how few are entertained. And true, the state of entertainment may come much later, when we have advanced into a higher knowing of, oh, this is what it is all about. Then you are able to be entertained, because now you are not caught in those waves that are going up and down. Now you're standing outside and you're watching those waves rise up and down, but you know very clearly in your understanding that that's not who I am, that this desire being fulfilled is not who I am. It's not, I am not the doer. I have made this possible. I created this beautiful object. You just realize that in these waves tossing up and down, this is all a dream. And the real life, the real divine reality is in that midpoint, when the waves have finished tossing up and down and they reach a midpoint which is very close to the bosom of the ocean. That's when we find true joy. Now, it's not just black and white about acceptance. Let me take this example of Master's horoscope. Told him that he would marry 3 times, 2 times a widower, and, and to go on to a third successful marriage. And Master, because of his love for God, was so overwhelming, he refused to accept that divine, supposedly astrological decree. And his family would tease him, especially his elder brother. And he would point to past, prophecies that turned out to be true, that you would go away from your family to the Himalayas, and you would say, look, all these came true. This too has to come true. And Master did a little worried about it. One night, as he sat in meditation on this, placed this matter before God, and he said, a very clear intuition came to me that these prophecies are false. He instantly took those astrological prophecies and burnt them in the fire, and told his brother, this is not going to come true. If you roast the seeds of your past karma in the divine fires of wisdom, they cannot sprout. So that is faith, that is willpower, But where did that faith and willpower come from? Because Master's consciousness was established in God. It was established in divine realities. But so acceptance is not a passive acceptance. Oh, it seems to be in my fate. I just have to accept it. It will bring peace to my family. Look how much my lack of acceptance is bringing discord in my family. Maybe I just have to get married. And so this, by the way, by the topic of marriage is just an example with respect to Master. I'm not telling anybody, please don't get married. Each one of us has our divine dharma. I'm just using it as an example, because there will be some situations where we think, oh, this is creating so many problems all around. Maybe I should just accept things as they are. No. How do you know what to accept? And that is why it is important for us to establish our understanding in divine realities. And just as Master was very clearly told that this is a false prophecy, likewise, we must also know, is our acceptance of what is it simply a passive acceptance where I am trying to escape, persecution from the world, or where I'm trying to escape, maybe unnecessary disharmony within my family and so on? Or am I doing the right thing? So this is very important. When we are trying to accept a reality which is causing confusion I'm sorry, there's some noise outside, which is causing confusion in our lives, it's important, as Yogananda ji would say, to go into the calmness of meditation. And in that calmness, ask God, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to accept? Because truly, friends, acceptance of that reality brings us to inner freedom. That reality which is founded in God's will for you. When our acceptance is based on God's will for me in this world, in this life, then we take that next step towards freedom. But when we are accepting circumstances, people, to make peace with social norms, to make peace with families, and your heart is telling you, I don't want to do this, like, master, I don't want to get married, but here is his family pressurizing from the other side. What gave Master the freedom? It was in knowing and fulfilling God's will for him. So, this is very important for us to know whenever we are confused. Is this acceptance of the situation the right thing that I'm doing, or is it not? But the answer will be given to you when your heart is calm. If in the calmness of your heart you're able to feel God's will that tells you this is the way forward, then acceptance of that becomes the most important step. And so acceptance is not a passive exercise, friends. Acceptance calls for dynamic willpower. It calls for faith in God's will and a devotional zeal or fervor to want to know God's will. And so let's make that a sincere self effort. That's our inner self effort towards knowing clearly what to accept and what not to accept. The other thing I want to mention is whenever there are circumstances, things, people in our life that challenge us, we are troubled, and the reactive process teaches us to resist, to fight, to escape, to run away, to win time. Maybe somehow if I can push this away, I will find release from it. No. If there is anything within us that is telling you, run away from this, or this is not good, pause, meditate, and ask yourself, how can I see God in this reality? We want to see God in everything. That again is a practice of acceptance. That when there is a situation before you, how can you see it as Divine Mother's blessings? How can you see it as God's presence in your life? As I said, that calls for dynamic willpower, to call for God's presence and not your likes and dislikes, which are thwarting God's presence in your life. So, with that, I want to, because we're running out of time, I want us to practice the affirmation of acceptance that Swamiji has given us, and I will read it out for us once. He says, I accept with calm impartiality whatever comes my way. Impartiality, which means calm your likes and dislikes, and then God's will be clear to you. The next step will be clear to you. True acceptance, friends, brings freedom, inner joy. There is this beautiful story, and we all know the story. Many times, Swamiji's efforts in building the community was set back in very challenging ways, and there were divine tests for Swamiji and his team of people. And one of the tests was, when the temple was burnt down. And it was not that they had plenty of money in their pockets to just build another temple. And they had all worked hard. I'm sorry. They had all worked hard to build that temple. And when the temple burned down, everyone was disappointed. And Jyotishji's tent was right next to Swamiji's, and he felt sad. He thought, let me go and comfort Swamiji. And he went close to Swamiji's tent, and he heard, Swamiji saying something. He thought, oh, maybe Swamiji is inconsolable. And he got a little closer to the tent, and he heard what Swamiji was really saying. He was saying, joy, oh, so much joy, so much joy. And later Swamiji would go on to recount. He said, first, yes, Swamiji was sad that the temple was burned down, but he told Divine Mother, I built this temple for you. You can take this and everything else you want with it. I give them back to you wholeheartedly. And he said, the moment I surrendered everything, there was this infinite joy that just rose in my heart. And he said, my next prayer to Divine Mother was, Divine Mother, if this is the fruit of surrendering, you can take everything you want. So true acceptance brings inner joy, friends. And the joy that we are seeking lies in surrender of our likes and dislikes and acceptance of God as our divine reality. Let's take a few moments to close our eyes, to hold at the light of the spiritual eye all those who are seeking healing, acceptance of a difficult reality. Let us see the light of God calming their hearts. bringing solace, comfort, inner freedom, and inner ease. And let us send out these rays of divine blessings to the whole world, that peace and harmony may restore the divine balance within it. Rubbing our palms together, let us share 3 blessings of Om. 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 Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.